With everything that's going on in the world, taking care of one's body is at the height of importance. As we all know, no need to repeat. So I decided to come up with a quick little workout video of some of the disciplines I've studied over the years. So here you go. First up, Shooto. Shooto derives from Japan, and the founder of Shooto is Satoru Sayama. Satoru Sensei chose Yorinaga Nakamura to pass on the art. Now, what you're about to see is not the official warm-up in its entirety, but it's one portion that I really enjoy and gets the blood flowing. Now, traditionally within the art form, you're just going back and forth in the left lead. The right foot stays planted with the heel up, and you bounce back and forth off of your left ball of your foot. But as you can see, I tend to switch it back and forth to balance out both sides. Hand and elbow placement is crucial as well. The hands are above the eye line, elbows are shoulder level, and the positioning is in a vertical-esque triangle shape. Next, the foot is planted. Thrust your hands forward and back in a triangular shape to the opposing sides of your cheek, then pendulum motion back and forth with the same technique. As you can see, the hand motion is overly expressed, and the feet are in a reverse triangle. Shortly after doing that for a few times, you go back to the first motion that you did initially, and then switch it back and forth. That's just an extremely quick Shooto warm-up that I've added to my own personal routine. Next up, weight training. Now, I'm not talking CrossFit. I'm talking isolated weight training. So right now, I'm doing a bicep curl. As you can see, the lower part of my bicep is being triggered, and then the bag is lifted up. Ideally, my elbows shouldn't be moving forward that much. That's just a lift that I did personally on the end. But I should be able to just barely lift the weight. It's not about how many reps. Are you doing it properly with form? If your weight's too much, lower the weight. It's all about the contraction of the muscle. It's not so much how much weight can you lift. I've been doing this wrong for so many years, and it's only recently I've understood that it's all about the movement of your body and the contraction of your muscle. You can lift lighter weight and it be harder than lifting heavy weight because you're utilizing your body properly. Jun Fan Gung Fu and Jeet Kune Do have been a part of my life ever since I was a little boy. This art was developed by the late Bruce Lee. And the man who's been able to continue keeping this art alive is none other than Sifu Inosanto. It's been an absolute dream come true to be a student of his and to take this art and continue to pass it on to the next generation. So for those who are curious, the characters say using no way as way, having no limitation as limitation. 3 quick and simple things to remember: partiality, sharpening the tool; fluidity, utilizing the tool; emptiness, dissolving the tool. We practice the techniques individually so that we can utilize them fluidly and then apply them in a formless form. The ready position in Jun Fan is known as the Bai Jan stance. The left heel is slightly raised, the right foot is pointed inward, and the weight distribution is roughly 60-40 rear to front leg. The fist initiates the technique, and the feet follow second. Notice that the fist moves and the feet follow. This type of technique regimen also falls under the category of ABD, known as attack by drawing. Ideally, if somebody was in a mirrored stance to me throwing a horizontal fist, this vertical fist would then derail it across my body. Next, we initiate the juk tek from a pendulum shuffle number 2 in the ha level, the jun level, and the go level, also known as the low level, the mid level, and the high level. And juk tek stands for side kick. Now, jeet tek would be an intercepting kick. So that same technique can be used in interception or in the application of a technique. Now, the next one is one of my personal favorites. This is if an opponent is attacking your lead leg. You lift and spin and kick. It's also known as a toima and a jun so tek. So it's a lifting leg, stepping over the attack, spinning with a heel hook. So that's jun so tek. When I teach people, I always want to make sure that I'm teaching them the Cantonese terminology and the English terminology, just so they can have a better soulful connection with the art. Now, this is just a muscle endurance exercise. However, these types of muscle endurance exercises always aid in the overall application of your art because they're not usually utilized and they're quite overlooked. Now, depending upon your school of thought, some people like to stretch before, other people like to stretch after. I always feel it out and just kind of get my muscles a little bit warm, and then I usually stretch a little bit before and then a little bit after as well for a cool down. And my mother, for the most part, has taught me a majority of different stretching routines throughout my entire life, which I've been super grateful for. And every time I go back home, she's always showing me new stuff. But right here is just a standard little split going to left and right, and then just doing a nice little crossover and grabbing your ankle with your opposing arm. It's just really good to just do a few basic techniques for the legs, the arms, and the body, and stretching. Stretching is super important. It should never be overlooked. And it doesn't mean to overstretch, but you want to stretch so that you have the flexibility to perform a technique and not pull or injure yourself. If you guys enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, share with your friends, and join me on the Golden Warrior podcast. See you soon.